With the project folder now set up, we can now begin to add some structure to our index page. Before we begin to add our HTML elements to add content to our page, there is some basic structure we first need to add. I'm going to start by removing this hello text from the last video, and the first thing we need to add at the very top of each page is a doctype declaration, which looks like this. If we open and close the angle brackets, add an exclamation mark, and then type doctype of HTML. Doctype declarations are a way to declare which version of HTML we are using. This is a doctype for HTML version 5. Earlier versions were a lot longer and more complicated, but HTML5 makes things nice and simple for us. The word doctype is not case sensitive, but I like to type mine in uppercase anyway. Then we add the main or the root HTML element tags. So just below the doctype, open and close the angle brackets, type in HTML, and then we need to close this off. So again, open and close the angle brackets, add a / and HTML. With this being the root element, everything else must be added between these tags. This doctype at the top is the only exception to this. Inside of the opening HTML tag, I'm going to add an attribute. We briefly talked about attributes in the last section. Attributes are just a way for us to provide some additional information which we need to add to the opening tag. For the HTML tag, we can provide the language attribute with lang. This tells browsers and search engines the language of the web page which we're creating. I'll be creating this site in English, so the code is equal to EN inside of these quotations. A quick Google search for HTML language codes will bring up a list of country codes if you wish to use a different language. Inside of this HTML element, there is two main elements we can now add, called the head and the body. So just underneath these opening tag, we can open up the brackets again and type in the head and close that. And you can see that Visual Studio Code automatically completes this for us. If your text editor doesn't, just simply go ahead and type in the closing tag with the /. Then after this, we can add the body. And this again has an opening and a closing tag too. This head section at the very top contains data about the website, often called metadata. The content we add to the head is not usually displayed on the page inside the browser. It does, however, provide some important information about the HTML document, such as the site title, information for search engines. We can also link to other files too, and we'll look at this during this section. The first element I'm going to add to the head section is a meta tag. Meta tags basically provide information about the site, and it's the first self-closing tag we have seen so far. This means it doesn't have a closing tag. It doesn't need one because we don't add any content inside. We simply add an attribute to it. There are lots of different meta tags available to provide information about the site description, the site's author. We can also use it to add keywords too. For this one though, all I'm going to do is add a character set used for the site with the charset attribute. So let's create our meta tag, meta, close it off, and then we can add our character set attribute. And this is going to be equal to UTF-8. Setting the character encoding may sound complicated, but we are simply declaring which characters we are using on this web page. The characters being the numbers, letters, and also any character symbols which you will find on your keyboard, such as the @ symbol and also positive and negative symbols, or even brackets. UTF-8 is a HTML5 standard and covers almost all of the characters available in the world. Next up, just below this meta tag, I'm going to add the title. So add the title's opening and closing tags. I'm going to call mine the text store and we need to add this between the two tags. So add that in just like that. If we give that a save and then open up the browser with the index.html opened, give that a refresh, and we can see we've got Textor at the top of the browser just there. We'll add to this head section throughout this project and also later on in this course. So this now leaves us with this body section. The body is where we add all the content which will appear on the page. If we go ahead and type our hello again, just below the body like this, give that a save, and then reload the browser, we'll see the text now appear again on the page. Great, our HTML structure is now in place, and we can now move on to looking at some more HTML elements which we'll add to this body section.